Fans say American Pickers is over without Frank Fritz. Fans think American Pickers is over without Frank Fritz at the helm. He was the original host of the reality series. The network let him go after he underwent grueling back surgery. The History Channel never revealed the reason behind Frank's firing, but he was very open about his feud with co-star Mike Wolfe. The ratings took a nosedive after the show returned without him on January 1, 2022. Some viewers followed through with their promise of boycotting the series. They want to see Frank back. TV shows Ace previously reported that the show plans to move into the current season without the OG cast member. Fans want Frank Fritz back. American Pickers fans are still upset about the change with the show's host. Most of them are not here for Mike's brother, Robbie Wolfe. They've been begging for Frank Fritz to come back. They argue that the show isn't the same without him. They don't even enjoy the banter between Mike and his brother. The latest episodes of American Pickers aired on Saturday, July 9. This comes after Mike teased on social media that a new season was coming. The premiere episode showed Mike traveling to Selma, Alabama, where he visited a family who showed off their collection of antique gas stations. The 58-year-old has his eye on a unique car instead. Also in the episode, Danielle Colby and Mike's brother Ravi traveled to Arizona to check out steam engines. Fans haven't been happy with the show since Frank's firing, which took place a year ago. His pink slip came as a shock to the fan base, who loved the fan favorite. Some of them took to Twitter to share their thoughts on the new season of American Pickers. Not watching anymore without Frank Fritz. Not as good as it was now he's gone. Been a long-time watcher, but unfortunately the show really needs Frank. The show has always been more than picking. Frank was an important addition with a great personality that Robbie doesn't possess. Without Frank, this is over. Not the same without Frank. Bring back the bearded charmer. American Pickers hosting drama continues. As the reality series attempts to move on, the American Pickers fans made their voices heard on social media. In July 2021, the network fired Frank after he temporarily left the show to undergo back surgery that left him with 2 rods and 185 stitches in his spine. Frank ended up losing 65 pounds and had a lifestyle change. He's now sober from alcohol. Frank told The Sun that during that time he entered rehab for alcohol addiction. He remained at the Iowa-based treatment facility for 77 days. His last appearance on American Pickers was in a March 2022 episode, which was one of the highest in the show's history. Frank expressed an interest in returning to the series after his hiatus. Despite his feud with Mike, he admitted that he missed his cast members. Mike confirmed his firing last year in a touching Instagram post. He still wished Frank well, even though they didn't get along. American Pickers has been a beloved show for over a decade, but fans are now saying that it's not the same without Frank Fritz. His absence has left a noticeable void in the show, and many loyal viewers feel that the magic has faded. Some even claim that American Pickers is over without him, signaling a shift in its dynamic that might be impossible to recover from. Frank Fritz was one half of the dynamic duo that made American Pickers such a unique show. His chemistry with Mike Wolfe, the other co-host, was the heart and soul of the program. Together, they traveled the country, uncovering hidden treasures in barns, basements, and garages, turning forgotten junk into valuable antiques. But it wasn't just about the picking, it was about the banter, the camaraderie, and the long history between Frank and Mike that fans fell in love with. Frank brought something special to American Pickers. His quirky personality, deep knowledge of antiques, and down-to-earth nature resonated with the audience. He was the kind of guy who knew the value of a rusty old bike part or a vintage sign. and he made the viewer feel like they were along for the ride. Frank had a keen eye for hidden gems and a love for the thrill of the hunt, which set him apart. His role wasn't just about finding antiques. It was about the stories behind the objects, the people who owned them, and the history that was uncovered along the way. When Frank left American Pickers, the reasons were shrouded in controversy and mystery. Officially, it was due to health issues, but rumors of tension between Frank and Mike began swirling. Many fans speculated that there had been a falling out between the two friends, which cast a shadow over the show. The official story didn't satisfy everyone, and the longer Frank stayed away, the more viewers started voicing their disappointment. Without Frank, American Pickers has tried to move forward, but fans argue that it's not working. Mike Wolfe has taken on a larger role, and while he's always been an essential part of the show, his dynamic with Frank was irreplaceable. The back-and-forth banter, the occasional disagreements, and the friendly competition between them added a layer of entertainment that is now missing. In Frank's absence, the show has felt like it's missing its heart. Mike's rapport with the other pickers, like Danielle Colby and his brother Robbie Wolfe, doesn't carry the same weight as his connection with Frank. Many viewers believe that the chemistry and balance are gone, and with that, the show's appeal. Fans have been vocal about their feelings, taking to social media to express their frustrations. Many are calling for Frank's return, saying that the show just isn't the same without him. Twitter and Instagram are flooded with comments like, "Bring Frank back." American Pickers is over without him, and it's not the same without Frank's energy. The show's lost its charm. These sentiments are echoed in fan forums and discussion boards, where loyal viewers are reminiscing about the old days when Frank was a staple of the show. One of the biggest complaints from fans is that American Pickers now feels more scripted and less authentic. With Frank, there was a certain unpredictability to the show. You never knew what they were going to find, but more importantly, you never knew how Frank was going to react. His genuine enthusiasm for certain finds and his dry humor balanced out Mike's more serious approach. Together, they made the show feel like a real-life treasure hunt, with two old friends sharing their passion for history and antiques. Without Frank, many fans feel like the show has lost its authenticity. Some argue that it has become more about Mike and less about the picking. While Mike is a great host and a knowledgeable picker, the dynamic has shifted too much toward him, and it's not sitting well with longtime viewers. There's also been criticism that the show is focusing more on high-value items and less on the everyday treasures that made it so relatable. Frank had a way of making even the smallest, most insignificant item feel important, and that's something fans miss deeply. The ratings have reflected this shift. Since Frank's departure, American Pickers has seen a decline in viewership. While the show still has a loyal fan base, it's clear that many people have stopped tuning in, citing Frank's absence as the reason. Some fans have even gone as far as to say that they won't watch the show again until Frank is brought back, creating a rift between the show's producers and its audience. To fill the void left by Frank, American Pickers has tried introducing new faces and guest pickers, but none have managed to capture the same level of fan approval. Robbie Wolfe, Mike's brother, has taken on a more prominent role, but fans argue that he doesn't have the same charisma or connection with Mike that Frank had. The show has also brought in guest pickers from time to time, but none have stuck around long enough to make a lasting impression. As the future of American Pickers hangs in the balance, the question remains, can the show survive without Frank Fritz? Fans are divided, but the overwhelming sentiment seems to be that the show is in trouble. While some viewers are still holding out hope that Frank will return, others have already written off the show, declaring it over without him. In the end, American Pickers may continue to air, but for many fans, it will never be the same. Frank Fritz was more than just a co-host. He was the heart of the show. And without him, it feels like a piece of American Pickers' history has been lost. The antiques may still be there, the road trips may continue, but the magic that Frank brought to the show is irreplaceable. Whether or not the producers will listen to the fans' pleas and bring Frank back remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, American Pickers is facing an uncertain future, and many believe that it may be too late to save it.